Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of True Picks, where we break down everything that happens in this here NFL season. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot of things to get through. We weren't able to connect for Thursday Night Football, but we are here to discuss the rest of the slate. And of course, when I say we, I mean, of course, myself, Chase Oliver. Chase is a little under the weather. I'll handle that one for you there, buddy. Normally I ask how
Yeah,
you're doing. But you were telling me you're doing not that great this evening.
yeah. Some nasal issues. Been sneezing like crazy. So if I mute, it's because I'm sneezing, and I'm always gonna try to mute before I have to get a breath through my nose and stuff. So you guys don't hear a lot of those little noises and stuff. But yeah, I don't know what happened. I was feeling good this morning, and then all of a sudden, around 2 o'clock, I started feeling a little under the weather. Took a nap, and then woke up, and then 5 o'clock, I just started sneezing like crazy, and it's just been my nose now just feels like I put on some Vicks, so I'm smelling the Vicks right now, but I don't like to over Vicks it because then you just start smelling like that shit, and that's even worse.
Yeah, you can't go full Vicks it. I'm pretty sure that I think the illness or the sickness that you're feeling is that Chargers loss to the Giants and Justin Herbert having to go home and Madison Beer and having to explain to her why he lost. But let's take a look at how you and I did this past week, and we did pretty well. We both went 10-5, but there's that annoying Packers Cowboys game where they decided to play for a tie. They decided to play for a tie, which all things considered, considering yesterday the Thursday Night Football game that we saw between the Rams and the Niners, we can at least say that Sean McVay did not go for a tie. Now, did he need to go for it on 4th and 1 with almost 4 minutes left in overtime? No, he probably didn't. But I at least respect the aggressiveness.
Yeah.
He was like, let's just try to get this touchdown and get out of here. I'm not trying to let Mac Jones, of all people, even though he's injured, try to bust up further what's happening with my team. So
Yeah,
I
they
was,
should have
that
just
was the,
trusted in Stafford on fourth down. If Stafford was dealing on that drive, that the run play was so predictable. I would have done something creative with Stafford, like roll him out of the pocket, something. Just give more options or something. Or if
yeah,
you're gonna,
you got Taco Tay, you got Puka Nakua, you've got Higbee. I mean, maybe if you want to say at the moment you're not 100% sure if you can trust Kyron Williams with the ball because of the fumbling thing. Like you ran the ball, but you have Blake Corum there. Like if you don't want to go, like there were options. Is really the situation, and why they ended up going with that, I don't know the full reason, but
yeah, I understand why they didn't QB sneak it because Stafford's back is probably not
right.
100%. So that's fine, but all the other options, I was just like, really, a basic halfback. Let's see if Kyron can find the hole. That sounds like a losing option in my opinion. But
Well, there are a lot of teams that are going to have to make some interesting choices on offense this week and going forward because of injuries and things like that, similarly to what plays were available to McVay on that 4th and 1. So let's talk about this week and the slate. So we have a few teams on bye. We got the Bears on bye, the Packers on bye. I think there's a couple others on bye. And we just had Rams and 49ers. So let's deal with our early morning London, not Monday, but London, very similar pronunciations, London game where the Browns are hosting the Minnesota Vikings. And for another week, we are going to be treated to Carson Wentz, not J.J. McCarthy. But the Browns decided to make a move, and they have benched Joe Flacco for Dylan Gabriel. This will be the rookie Oregon Duck quarterback's first NFL start. He was drafted this year, taken above Shedeur Sanders, who then later joined the team in the 5th round, and that's been a whole level of drama and back and forth. We had Shedeur Sanders doing this ridiculous video interview when he was asked what his thoughts were on Dylan Gabriel being selected over him, what his thoughts were on Joe Flacco, his time as the starter and whatnot. He was answering the question, but he was just mouthing the words, and he was not actually saying anything. So if anybody thought that, falling to the 5th round and being the 3rd string guy was going to humble him in any way, shape, or form, it does not appear that that's going to be the case. But luckily for the Browns, they do have it is weird because we talk about how the Browns are a pretty terrible team from different perspectives. But in some respects, the reason why they're terrible is just the salary cap. The players that they do have, especially the players that they've been drafting, are not bad. Like, if we look at this 2025 draft class, especially from offense, Judkins looks great. Fannin looks great as a backup to Njoku, as a wide receiver 3, and possibly next year forward, tight end 1. You could even make an argument that Njoku could be a trade candidate this year at the trade deadline. So with that level of track record, could Dylan Gabriel now be the guy going forward? That remains to be seen. There's a reason why he fell to, 3rd or 4th round. But there's a reason why he fell in the draft to that level. So he's not like the greatest quarterback, but he is competent. We shall see. But he's going to be going up against a Brian Flores defense. So a hell of a test for the young quarterback. Now, Andrew Van Ginkel is not going to be playing for the Vikings, but this could be a bit of a bloodbath, at least from the Vikings defense perspective. I do think that there is a opportunistic moment where the Browns defense, being what it is, playing against Carson Wentz, can give Dylan Gabriel opportunities to score.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he's going to be able to get them scoring, at least this time around, against this defense. I'm going Vikings. How about you?
Yeah, it's tough. I'm going with the Vikings too, just because they're a better team. Gabriel, first start in London, you have to go against a Vikings defense that gives up yardage, but like they don't really give up too many easy touchdowns, and that's what you're going to try to scheme for this kid is easy touchdowns. And Gabriel, he's okay. Like he's short, so that's going to hurt him a little bit. But this Browns defense is really fun to watch. And we didn't even talk about Mason Graham, who's just like, oh my God, who's just been a game wrecker. Like this guy looks like he's going to be an all-pro in 2 years. Like I don't know. Like this guy's phenomenal. But yeah, I got the Vikings as well. I think they should win this game. But who knows? We don't know what the Vikings right now. Like they until JJ comes back, we don't know what this team is. They're just kind of what they were last year, except they don't have the Sam Darnold effect.
Right. But I will say that I think that last week is more the way to kind of go forward looking at the Vikings, mainly because, and maybe it's just me, banging the table for my guy, but those first 3 weeks they didn't have Jordan Addison. And you could see if you look at just the targets and catches that Jefferson was able to pull off in the game last week versus the weeks prior. That's the beauty of having someone like Jordan Addison versus a Jalen Naylor or a rookie Ty Felton. So we'll see, whether or not Carson Wentz can pull things off for them. But someone who won't be making productive plays for their team, also in purple, this week, is Lamar Jackson, who will be missing the game this Sunday against the Texans. The hamstring injury that removed him from the game against the Chiefs, it appears to be lingering still. And as a result, he will not be playing. This is an interesting turn of events for the Ravens. Cooper Rush is going to be the starting quarterback for Baltimore this week. I think that completely changes this offense. Cooper Rush is not the mobile kind of quarterback that Lamar Jackson is, and that's really what allows these players to do what they do. Oftentimes you wonder, and this is just in general an interesting question, the idea of, do you want the backup quarterback to be more of that traditional field general, pocket passer, conservative player, or do you want that person to try to fit like basically be the QB1 but weaker, in the sense of, would the Ravens offense have benefited better if they had someone like a Snoop Huntley be the backup quarterback versus a Cooper Rush? I would err on the side of caution and say go with the Cooper Rush. However, you have to understand that if your wide receivers are built around running around because Lamar is doing Lamar things and then they just get open, that's going to be a little bit more difficult when Cooper Rush is like, okay, you're going to go there and he's going to break there, and he's expecting you to break on the ball. So
yeah, I'm with you. I think the backup should be someone that's like, it's hard to replicate what Lamar does, even if you are a Lamar type player. Like, there's a totally different thing, and especially because a lot of those guys that are mostly scrambler types, their arm is still not as good as Lamar's. Like, Lamar at least has a better arm and stuff. Like, maybe Cooper Rush, I think it's a good backup. Like, it's a good, like, I think it's fine. They can go to a more simple style offense instead of like, just like the Lamar Jackson offense. And this game.
But my thing is, like, I'm looking at these receivers up against this Texans defense and this Texans secondary, and Will Stingley going up against Zay Flowers, and I'm like, part of what allows Zay Flowers to be Zay Flowers is Lamar Jackson doing what he does. And if you're now removing that, like, there was so reason why I'm bringing this up is because I am in a dynasty league redraft league where I drafted or picked the Texans defense. And this was the first week where I was like, okay, maybe, depending on how they do, either I stream defense this week or I move, try to figure out if there's somebody else I can drop if the Texans are playing that well. And then I was looking at it and I was getting ready to do it on waiver day, and I was like, I don't know if Lamar's playing. I was like, I could wait a little while longer and until they announce whether or not Lamar's playing. And then if he is, then yes, maybe I'll stream the defense. But this was a situation after they confirmed that Cooper Rush was going to be playing. I was like, I might as well just leave the Texans defense in there.
Yeah.
I at least just have to trust them to stop Derrick Henry. Like, that's – and this is a Ravens team that is kind of reeling. If we look at what this defense that was supposed to be on paper coming into the season and versus what their output has been with the amount of points that they've been giving up, this is a defense that needs to get right. And luckily, they're going up against a not that great offense. But I'm taking the Texans here. This is I almost feel bad for the Ravens, but I kind of don't at the same time. I don't know.
Hey, man, they're going against an old man quarterback, CJ Stroud. He said he lost his athleticism at the young age of 23. This guy's the weirdest person I've ever experienced with my life. I guess I have to go with the Texans here. They're more healthier, but
yeah, it doesn't feel like a good thing to say, right?
Yeah, it's like I could see the Ravens winning this game. Like, I could see that this is where Derrick Henry get right game. He dominates and stuff. But then I'm just thinking, man, they're going to be too one-dimensional. This Texans defense is good against the run, and I know it's Derrick Henry, so I should be like, well, it's Derrick Henry. He's like not a normal running back, but still, the Texans have the better quarterback on their side for as of now. So I gotta go with the Texans, but it's not a good. I gotta go with the Texans. What the fuck is this? This cannot be the line. Did you mess this up?
Let me check.
For Saints and Giants.
I don't think I did. It's possible I did, but I will look.
Ain't no way the Saints should be favored at any football game. What do we do?
It's possible I messed this up.
That's why I saw that. I'm all like, I know.
No, I did not. I did not mess this up.
Holy shit! I'm betting money on the fucking Giants. You got to be kidding me. The Saints.
Listen, that's how crazy. This was my lead-in, actually. I was gonna say this is how crazy Vegas thinks Malik Neighbors makes a team. Like, that's how good they think Malik Neighbors makes the Giants offense. They are banking on the idea that Malik Neighbors going on IR because of tearing his ACL is enough to make the Giants the underdog against the New Orleans Saints. Now, Listen, for a quarter or so, Jackson Dart looked really good with Malik Neighbors, and then Malik Neighbors went down, and they were just like, Cam Scatterbo's still on this team. And so is Darius Slayton and Wan'Dale Robinson. And granted, they're not like those two are not the greatest receivers. Darius Slayton's like 31 years old, but like they're competent at least. And Scatterbo is a competent guy. And right now there's talk that Tyrone Tracy could be back, and Theo Johnson's there to be a safety valve for Dart. Dart's looking good enough with his rushing ability that I feel like I can take the Giants here. Like I don't really see what the
dude. Do they think Kellen Moore, just because he was the Eagles OC, that he's gonna know what the Giants do on defense? Yeah, he had the Eagles fucking roster. He has this Saints roster. This Saints roster is ass. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, I don't understand this at all. Yeah, the Saints are scrappy. I'll give them that. Like, they're like this cold I have right now. They just won't go away. They just keep coming, and then
you know what I think it is also. Vegas watched the Saints fight against the Bills. Because the Bills should have annihilated the Saints. Like it should have.
Well, the Giants, like they were holding on to dear life with the little lead that they had over the Chargers, and it was like that Giants win. Like, yeah, it was a cool win, but it wasn't like one where you're like, wow, I'm more impressed. Yeah, the Giants, they just needed a quarterback. It's like, no, like
the Chargers did something.
Yeah, it's more on the Chargers just didn't capitalize and stuff. So, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, like I'm looking at it, I'm going, man, the Saints, they fought against the Bills. I gotta believe they can fight against the Giants. So I can kind of see it. Similarly,
if the Saints beat the Giants, just leave Dable in New Orleans. Just say go down to LSU, see if we need an OC. I'll be dead serious. I don't care if just leave him in New Orleans. Just say, yeah.
Meanwhile, if the Dolphins lose to the Panthers, the Dolphins got to be like, Mike, you can wait here. You can stay behind. Now, granted,
I'll go coach Tua. I'll replace Canales in a heartbeat.
What if they do the first ever coach trade game? Oh man, this is a Dolphins offense that trying to get right, trying to get back on track, and then
they did this past week. They look good.
Well, yeah, but then they lost Tyreek Hill.
Yeah,
for the season. So
he looked so happy that he was.
I have never seen a man. The last time I saw somebody look that happy to no longer have to play football was when Antonio Brown retired in the middle of that game.
He literally looked like if you ever worked one of those jobs and like you knew you had a long shift and your manager goes, "Hey, you can go home early," and then you just get a smile on your face knowing that you don't have to work the rest of the day. That's literally how Tyreek Hill looked. Like I've never seen a player suffer an injury like his. Smiling.
Honestly, I think the funniest part of it is that like they were carting him out of the stadium. So they really, I don't know if they've really gotten the opportunity to give him that much of painkillers or pain medications. So I'm assuming, right, that he's still in at least 80% of the pain that he's supposed to be feeling because of a dislocated knee. And that man is smiling ear to ear. I was like, he's the happiest person in the stadium.
Did you see the video? Did you see the video of someone?
In the ambulance.
Yeah, he's chilling. I'm like, bro, this guy, he is so happy. He's
what I'm saying is, if all we had was the video from the ambulance, then I would be like, okay, maybe they've hit him with like high doses of morphine, right? Like he's now, on a little bit on cloud 9 because of the painkillers. But in the stadium, there's no way that they're like, okay,
there's no.
Morphine. So like him smiling there, I'm like, okay, he's just happy.
Yeah, no, this guy's like, hey, I'm happy too. No more Tyreek Hill trade rumors to the Chiefs or anything like that. The dream is over.
Yeah, no, I'm in a Debbie league, and somebody just posted, does anybody want to take Tyreek Hill for any pick? And so I was like, I mean, he's still Tyreek Hill. Like, he's not a bad player.
Oh yeah, you'll get 2-3 years out of him.
He could easily have played his last down in football ever, easily, or he has like 2 years left. So I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? This league goes to 7 rounds because it's in addition to the actual rookie, you can take a player
High
that's still in
schooler.
college, right? Yeah. So this one goes to college. So I said 2028 7th rounder. I sent it to the guy. There was no negotiation. He just hit accept. So and then I realized, because I took over this team, I took over this orphan team, that this is a team that has Patrick Mahomes as one of the quarterbacks. So I was like, wait a minute. In the weird off chance that somehow he ends up on the Chiefs, I'm going to have Patrick Mahomes' favorite target while I have Patrick Mahomes. Oh, this is going to be great. Great.
Yeah, the real winners are teams that want to trade for Tyreek Hill, because now he gonna be mad cheap because he's coming off an injury. He's older, so like you can get him for a 7th round pick, not even of this year's draft, probably in next year's draft too. Like you'll just be like, hey, here's a 2027 7th round pick, and the Dolphins will just say, fuck it, yeah, here you go.
I don't want to put, because I know don't want to be here longer than we absolutely need to. I know you're not that well. But this is crazy. This is wild. Okay, so right now his cap hit is 27.6, say $28 million. Next year, his cap hit is $52 million.
Jesus.
Hold on. But the out in the contract is after the 2025 season. So there's a world where the Dolphins release Tyreek Hill to save on that money, to not have to take that cap hit in 2026. He is then a free agent and goes, I remember loving Kansas City. This was a great time. And Kansas City's like, we'll sign you, but like it'll maybe be a little bit above league minimum because you're still like Tyreek Hill. Like we'll respect you enough to give you like maybe like a $3 million, $4 million contract. And he'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll take it. Why not? Beautiful. But for this game, how are you feeling about your boy Bryce Young?
No, not good. This guy, he's a magician, bro. He knows how to fool me, because like this guy, he looked like magic against the goddamn Falcons, and now he looked like shit against the Patriots, bro. Except for one drive. One drive he looked phenomenal, and then the Panthers, they are who I thought they were. They just stink. The fact that they're plus 100 is disrespect to the Dolphins. Like, maybe it's because their records are close to each other, huh?
I said the Dolphins aren't that great either.
Yeah, they're better than the fucking Panthers. I don't know why I was fooled by them. Never again. I'm not going to get fooled by these Panthers. Dolphins. They'll beat this stupid team.
Tua, one of your not favorite. Well, not as favorited Alabama.
Yeah. No, I like Tua. It's just I tell people Bryce is better than Tua.
Bryce is your guy, yeah.
Hey man, Mac Jones solidified himself as the second best Alabama quarterback. Man, I told you.
That's fair.
Mac Jones under Shanahan, that was a guy he always wanted. They said trade.
Yeah, they're talking about trading. They're seeing the jokes about trading Purdy.
That's a good throw for a backup.
But meanwhile, we've got the Raiders traveling to Indianapolis. This is I don't know how many more of the AFC West teams the Colts have to face, but because they've already faced the Broncos, but they will be facing the Raiders, and the Raiders are in such a weird spot, They're talking about. They were talking 2 weeks ago about not limiting Ashton Gentry's touches, but trying to be smart with them. And I'm like, I get it. He got a lot of touches in college, but like, he's a running back. You drafted him for a reason. Like, if you're not going to use him, send him to Denver. Like, I'll take him. And Sean Payton will make him run a lot. But, like, this is a weird offense where they're trying to use more of Zamir White, Dylan Lobb, and it's not really working. Meanwhile, their passing offense from a fantasy perspective, if you play best ball, Trey Tucker has been a really great for you. But outside of him, Jacoby Myers is trying to be his quiet, consistent self. And then Brock Bowers has been kind of hit or miss. Like, he's had games where he's been the Brock Bowers that people know and love from last year, but he's also had games where it has just not been there. A lot of this comes down to the Geno Smith decision-making. And a lot of this comes down to his ability to be very opportunistic about giving other teams opportunities with the ball by creating turnovers. And the Colts defense is a defense that likes to try to get turnovers. They're not content with just stopping you on the field itself. They want to try to flip the field position and give a beneficial spot to Daniel Jones and this offense. And Daniel Jones has been taking advantage of it. Jonathan Taylor has been taking advantage of it. This is a Colts team that's been looking really good. I don't see a world where the Raiders are going to be able to pull this one off. I'm going Colts.
Yeah, give me the Colts on this one too. The Raiders, they should have beaten the Bears last week, but they really choked that game. That was what a way to waste a great Aston Genty performance and stuff. But yeah, I don't understand the logic of like, look, when you have a rookie running back, that's the whole point why you draft a rookie running back. So that way you can run them to the ground and you don't give them a second contract. Like that's the whole point. The fact that you're a team, you feel like your roster is good enough to compete, you got to abuse that rookie running back. And not using Genty, who's a very talented player, it's just whatever. I think Bowers, he's still kind of laboring whatever injury he suffered week 1. But yeah, this offense, it's like, I just feel it's not a Pete Carroll offense, or it's not what Pete Carroll's looking for. This Chip Kelly thing, I don't know what Chip Kelly's doing, to be honest. Like, he's not doing the things that Chip Kelly is known for. It's like he's running such a weird offense than what I'm used to of his spread offenses. Like, it's not very Chip Kelly-ish. Like, it's just very, very, very dull, vanilla, and stuff. And the thing with Chip Kelly is he's a very innovative, smart guy. He's just running such a basic offense. Like, it just, I don't know. It's just very, very shocking when you watch the Raiders on tape, how basic this offense is. I'm not saying the Raiders need to do the Oregon speed, no huddle thing or what he likes to do, but he definitely is not running like anything innovative like he does or creating anything innovative. It's just basic. So, yeah, Colts should win. Jonathan Taylor and Adonai Mitchell, stop being an idiot. Like, that's it. Like, just don't be an idiot. And you guys are undefeated still.
That's the second year in a row where a Colts player has run into the end zone with the football untouched, dropped the ball of their own volition. And then that weirdly was the play that changed the momentum. Because last year it was Jonathan Taylor doing that against Denver. And that's what ended, like, Denver scores because now they have a touchback. And then I think it was the next possession that the Colts had. That's when Benito does the Casa Benito pick 6. So it's like that flipped that game for Denver, and Colts had something pretty similar happen.
Well, he also,
overall momentum standpoint.
He's the reason why Taylor didn't get that touchdown after the run, because there was no reason for him. Taylor was scot-free 10 yards away, and he just blocks his dude in the back. And I was like, what the fuck? Why'd you do that? And that's why the run got called back for Taylor. That would have been the a go-ahead touchdown for the Colts, because Adonai Mitchell decided to block his dude in the back. And I was like, Jesus, man. Like, you can't have one boneheaded play, that's fine. 2? Oh, my God, bench this dude. Like, this guy should not be seeing the field. I don't care how fast he is. Like, that's just stupid, especially Jonathan Taylor, the best running back right now in the National Football League. Like, if you feel like he's going to, like, do you think your corner's really going to keep up with him? Like, he's so fast. Like,
yeah, it is just a weird, like,
how are the Eagles? How are the Eagles going to beat you guys? Like, what's their strategy this week? They're not going to run the ball or something? Like, what do you think the Eagles' strategy is this week? They have some. I mean, not throwing the ball in the second half and still winning the game is crazy. Like, these guys are so funny, the Eagles.
It's so fucking annoying right now.
Can't fear the Broncos pass rush if you don't pass the ball.
That is true. Like, I can't even be mad at it. That is true. But man, okay, so I saw some stat where it was like, if Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, and Saquon Barkley all play, the Eagles don't lose. Like, they've never lost when all 4 of them are playing together. Like, to put this in perspective, they have won a Super Bowl, but they have not lost a game. Like, that's insane. That's an insane stat. And as far as I know, none of those 4 people are going to be missing this game.
Yeah, AJ Brown can get some cardio, not do anything, and they still win. It's crazy.
I'm looking at this and I'm like, do I really think that the Denver Broncos in 2025 are going to be the ones to give them that loss? No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
they're going to do that.
It's hard to choose against the Eagles right now, and they're like one of those teams because they just win in such weird ways, and it's frustrating. But you just got it's annoying. Yeah, it is annoying because like Tampa, they like. Oh my God! Like just how they won last week was just so amazing to me, and that defense, like you're able to force turnovers when they need it to get that lethargic. Like there's some drives where the Eagles' offense, you're like, yeah, this offense is really good. Like you can't beat them and stuff. And then there's drives where it's like, how are they not getting killed? Like 26-0 right now. How did this offense get 20 points up on the board? Like I literally will watch some drives. I'm like, there's no way that they got 20 points on the board. Like, how? How did they do that? Like, there's just so many times, and it's like, and then the part is you can't even hate shit on them for it because then they'll have like the Rams game where it's like, oh, did you not see that Rams game where Jalen Hurts turned it on? It's like, yeah, that's true. They can do whenever. So that's why it's like the Broncos where it's like, yeah, like. I was gonna love to be able to say, yeah, Broncos. I like the pass rush, the defense. I think Bo Nix just has to limit the mistakes, and the Broncos can sneak out a win. But then it's like, bro, the Eagles don't even need to pass the ball to win. So how the fuck is this pass rush? It's the scariest part of the Denver Broncos with Bonito and why am I drawing a blank on the other DN that's fucking good for you guys? Cooper, yeah, Bonito and Cooper and Franklin Myers. What's it matter? Then they won't even get to touch Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts is going to he's just going to either push or hand the ball to Saquon and whatever other 2 backup running backs.
Text Alex. It's going to hurt this Sunday because he's going to be the one.
Hey, it's a revenge game for Alex, his old team.
That's true, but it's also a revenge game for the Eagles defense because it's led by Vic Fangio.
Fangio. Who would have thought Fangio? What just a career renaissance for him as a D coordinator? Like he's always been a good D coordinator, but everyone was trying to say he was washed, and then he just gets this Eagles team, and then he's been so consistent.
He was good. He was good with the Bears defense.
Oh yeah.
And even then, even when he was Denver's head coach, like the defense wasn't the problem.
Yeah, there's only one mistake in the Fangio coaching tree. Do you know who that mistake is?
Wait, say that again?
There's only one mistake in the Fangio coaching tree.
I don't know what it is.
Brandon Staley.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's a Fangio guy.
Oh.
Had him in Chicago and stuff, but yeah, Eagles should win this game. Like I would love to say Broncos with an upset, but I don't know. Until the Eagles lose one of these games that they should lose, I can't choose against them. I just can't.
Here's the thing. Honestly, I don't even like this fucking money line. Like this should be worse. Like it should be this should be the line from above to me with the Colts and the Raiders. And it's not to be insulting towards the Broncos. It's just to say the Eagles are that damn good.
Yeah.
Because coming into the season, we were trying to talk about like what are the weaknesses of different teams, right? And at the time, we were talking about the Eagles and the weakness of like the ability to pass the ball and if you do fall into a hole, dig yourself out of it. That was our thing, was the idea of the ability to play from behind because they don't throw that much. And now we're just like, what's the weakness? What's the weakness of this team? They would have to have massive amounts of injuries, which I don't wish on any team, in order for them to lose at this point. It just doesn't make sense.
Like the only side of the ball, if they suffer injuries where they're kind of fucked, is offense, because offensively they're not as deep. Like defensively, they're deep. They're deep defensively. Like they can lose injuries. I mean, I won't be surprised if Chauncey Gardner-Johnson somehow is back with this team by like the playoffs or something, just because he's always been there. But yeah, like offensively, they're screwed if like a Devonta Smith goes down, because then wide receiver wise, it's like. Yeah, they have Mechie, they have Dotson, but it's like that's no Devonta Smith. Honestly, and then if Saquon goes out,
it's Saquon.
It's like, yeah,
Saquon. That's really the linchpin. Because like, the things that Saquon does, it's so underrated.
Yeah.
And it's not just like the fact that it's underrated, it's like it's criminally underrated. And as much as I like Tank Bigsby, he's not going to do Saquon Barkley things.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley is one of those running backs. He saves like a play that could go -2 and still
Right.
finds a way to get 3 yards out of it, which is like, which people think
That's all
like,
you need.
oh, he like most people be like, oh, he only got 3 yards, and it's like, yeah, but that would have been a -2 yard loss with any other running back. So
Right. He turns a 2nd and 12 into a 2nd and 7.
yeah,
That is a 5-yard swing when you think about it. So like that's really what he's able to do and what he's able to provide. And it's just it's terrible. And that's what star players got to do. And even when those star players are out, other people got to step up. And we saw that last week when the Cowboys and George Pickens gets targeted hyper number of times, like 12 times, 9 catches, a ridiculous number of yardage. And CeeDee Lamb.
I'm watching Jamar Chase or George Pickens. I couldn't tell, man. He looked amazing.
And it's a situation where you see kind of one, why Pittsburgh drafted him in the first place and wanted to make things work with him, and 2, why the Cowboys were interested in getting him in the second place, because they were looking at it going, we have always been looking for a wide receiver 2 to pair with CeeDee Lamb. And hell, when CeeDee Lamb was on the field, Pickens wasn't getting targeted that much, but because he was George Pickens, that was what was allowing CeeDee Lamb to get open. Now, did CeeDee Lamb suffer from the case of the dropsies? Yes, he did. And some of those drops contributed to the fact that he's going to be out for another 2 weeks probably. But it is a situation where Pickens is now able to step up, and this Cowboys offense is moving. Now, can they overcome a Jets defense that is not bad? Like, the Jets are in this weird position where I'm looking at it going, is the defense holding the offense back, or is the offense holding the defense back?
I think they're both holding each other back.
That's what I was trying to figure out. It's just, it doesn't make any sense, because you can see that Justin Fields can move the ball, whether it's him running it, whether it's Breece Hall running it, whether it's catches out of the backfield, Garrett Wilson doing these things, but they just don't seem to be able to punch it into the end zone, right? And then meanwhile, they now lose Braylon Allen, and so they're going to have to use some kind of committee aspect to do an RB2. Like, I know they have Isaiah Davis. I know I think they elevated a practice squad guy. But this is going to be an interesting thing for the Jets offense, because their defense has been both hit or miss. Like, you have Sauce Gardner, but he's still, he's not fully Sauce yet. It doesn't seem like. You have a defense that's getting pass rush, but they're not getting all the way home. And there just seems to be enough mistakes on the offensive side that are that's putting the defense in a bad spot, and enough mistakes from the defense that are not letting the offense be able to do what a Justin Fields offense wants to do. Like, they want to be able to just run the ball, not have to throw it. And so I don't know. This one is weird to me. I do respect the line being as close as it is. A part of me
that Cowboys defense isn't good.
Right. That's the thing. Like, a part of me wants to go Jets because the Cowboys defense isn't that good, and the home field advantage aspect. Like, that feels like,
because the Cowboys have been bad on the road, huh? Like, they just haven't been good this year on the road.
But there's also this situation where I'm looking at it going, I can easily see some ridiculousness where Dak throws up like a late game to Ferguson, to Pickens. The Cowboys are on the road. They have lost both times. They beat the Giants at home, and they tied the Packers at home. So they're just all over the place. I'm gonna go Jets.
Can I choose tie? Can the Cowboys double tie? Like, there's another tie, and I'll go with the Cowboys. I'll go with the Cowboys on this one.
That is funny though, right? Because like one tie counts as half a loss. So if you got 2 ties, it's just a loss.
I don't know. This game doesn't feel like a good tie and stuff, but I got the Cowboys could win this one. The Jets defense against what we thought was just a lethargic Miami offense kind of brought them back to life. Nothing about this Jets defense, like you said, they just feel like they can't put it all together. And that, I don't know. I think Aaron Glenn, he just knows this team is bad. He's like, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
They need to like stop limiting Brees Hall's touches. I get it; he's in a contract year and stuff, and I totally understand what they're trying to do. They want it where Brees Hall doesn't get crazy with the touches, and then later on get crazy good yardage, so it makes it harder to re-sign him. I understand, but if you guys want better success, you need to spam the fuck out of Brees Hall. Like, stop this running back by committee thing. Like, if you don't think he's good in the red zone, that's fine. I totally understand. But there should be no reason why you're in the middle of the field and I see Isaiah Davis out there. And that should be no, Brees Hall should run until like there's no wheels on this guy's tires. He's really good at football, but I get it. I understand.
So two things actually while we're here. Right now on Tankathon, they have the Saints at 101, picking Lenore Sellers, and then they have the Jets at number 2 because they're talking about Aaron Glenn and the defense. They have the Jets taking Caleb Downs. Now, I wanted to get your thoughts because, quite separately, FanDuel has at plus 300 the odds to be the number 1 overall pick. Hoosiers quarterback Fernando Mendoza.
Who? Indiana's quarterback?
Yeah, the Hoosiers for Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, so they have him at plus 300. They have Lenore Sellers at plus 430. They have Dante Moore at plus 500, and then Nussmeier at plus 1,000. John Mateer at plus 1,300, and then Ruben Bain Jr. at plus 1,500.
What about my dog Pavia?
Who?
Diego Pavia from Vanderbilt. Mexican Baker, bro.
Mexican Baker.
Yeah.
He is plus 12,500.
I like that bet. Real Mendoza. I don't know about Mendoza. I know Indiana's playing well.
So right now, the Hoosiers are 5-0. He's at 1,000 yards passing, 16 touchdowns, 1 interception, 30 rush attempts for 102 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the teams that they have played are, one moment, please, Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, Indiana State. Then they beat number 9 ranked Illinois, and they beat Iowa. And now they will be facing October 11th. They're going to be facing the Ducks.
I like Dante Moore at plus 1,000 to be the number 1 overall pick at quarterback.
So, but where I'm going with this is, let's assume for a moment that either Mendoza or Dante Moore, right? Let's assume either one of them get taken at 101, and the Jets still have 102. Are you taking Lenore Sellers, or actually, let's assume any one of those other quarterbacks gets taken? Would you take any one of those 3 quarterbacks over Caleb Downs if you're Glenn and this Jets offense, and you see what this Jets offense can do and does, and you look at your defense?
You have Fields on that contract. It's not that bad of a contract. Yeah. So you still have Fields, and if you're Aaron Glenn, who's a defensive guy, you kind of want that captain on the defense, and you know Caleb Downs is a special talent. I would go with Caleb Downs instead of like drafting Lenore Sellers at 2, who has the tools. Like, he has the tools to be really, really good, but you have to develop him. So, and this is the problem too, as we talk about, developing quarterbacks, when should you start them and whatnot. It's not like the Jets are the Saints, where they can be in a position where if they draft a quarterback, they can have him ride the bench for a little bit. There's not going to be as much media attention on it. You draft a guy like Lenore Sellers at number 2, who has all these sexy tools to his kit, good arm, nice speed, great height, overall good media guy, and then you're in the New York media. We saw what happened to Jackson Dart, where it was almost like, hey, you had to, like, let's put this to an example, John. Kansas City drafted Mahomes, There was no Alex Smith was fine, but there was no like Kansas City got to start Mahomes, otherwise, blah, blah,
Okay, hold on. And I
you,
mean,
you know
I
what
don't know
I'm
if
saying?
that's yeah, but I don't know if that's the best analogy because like Alex Smith was at least leading Kansas City to the playoffs.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. It's like there, but if this was New York, it'd be totally different. Where it's like because the Chiefs didn't have a winning season that year, they were just kind of like meddling by. Like it was just the
Right, the year that got them the pick that they traded to get Mahomes. Correct. Yeah.
yeah.
I think they had 15 and they moved up to 10 or something like that.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm trying to say is like if you draft Sellers number 2 in New York and he's the
Right.
number 2 overall pick,
Yeah.
you're expecting him to start. You're not expecting him to sit on the bench behind Justin Fields and stuff. And then I look at it as Aaron Glenn. He knows what he signed on with the Jets, and I don't know what the Jets owner Glenn told him or whatever, saying like, but like I think he sold them on, hey, we're gonna do what Dan did. We're gonna do this. We're gonna try this out, but let me build the team my way, just like how Campbell built the team his way, and then you'll see success. So I see it as they look at this where it's like, this quarterback class is good, but we could probably wait till the next quarterback class. Let's go ahead and get a guy like Caleb Downs, who is a special talent at safety and just does just
the way I look at it is, can you imagine pairing Caleb Downs and Sauce Gardner?
yeah.
Like that's the way I'm looking at it, because like I'm thinking to myself, sort of like the way Sean Payton is looking at it, going or has looked at it, going one of the best tools things that you can give a rookie quarterback is a great defense. And if people can't throw on the Jets offense and you can tackle and stop mid-range or running plays, you will continually generate either 3 and outs or short drives that are going to give a rookie quarterback better field position on the off the punt. So like I look at it and I go, yeah, I could see an argument that you want to go Caleb Downs, because the thing is like, and this is going to sound wild, right? But the idea of finding good quarterbacks these days seems, I don't want to say easily done, but it seems a lot easier to do than finding absolute solidly studly safeties.
Yeah, like
we saw last year how many quarterbacks were taken? 6 in the first round. And with the exception of JJ McCarthy, who like right now I'm just like can't really stay healthy for whatever reason, every single one of them is doing decent to great. Like the only person dragging them down once you remove JJ is Michael Penix Jr. Every other quarterback is doing really well. Caleb, Jaden, Drake, and Bo. They're all doing really well. So it's like you could maybe afford to wait, but like how many great safeties are we seeing? So it's going to be interesting to see.
Because it always happens too. Because that's what happened to Derwin James. It's because of his position. So a lot of people don't know this. Jalen Ramsey in college was mostly a safety, and then his junior year, he started playing corner, and the main reason why he did that was to get drafted higher, because he knew that if he played safety, he wouldn't be a high draft pick. And Derwin James didn't follow that route. And if you look at mock drafts the year Derwin was coming out, people had him in the top 5. And Derwin James slid all the way down to the Chargers, I think at 16, 17, somewhere around 18, something like that. And it's like, that's what happens to safeties, unfortunately. And then later on, we look at it like, look at Kyle Hamilton. This guy was the 22nd pick in the NFL draft. And Brian Branch was a second rounder. And, like, it's like, guys, these are really great football players. Don't let their safety position hurt you. Like Caleb Downs, like, pound for pound is the best player coming out of this draft class. There's no one better than Caleb Downs. And Aaron Glenn, he's going to look at that and fight on the table where it's like, look, I get what you're saying about Sellers, but no offense to Lenore Sellers, he's a dime a dozen and stuff. Like there's a bunch of Lenore Sellers growing on trees,
Look at this year with Baltimore, Malachi Starks.
Yeah, Malachi Starks is good for them too. Yeah, so that's why I feel like getting a guy like Caleb Downs, where this is a for sure pick, like, and instead of drafting a quarterback where you have Fields under contract, you have Fields for one more year. And if it's one more year of Fields stinking up the joint, it is what it is. But hey, what if Fields turns around? What if it was just he needed like look at Goff's first year in Detroit. Like let's just be honest. It wasn't like Goff was putting up these numbers in Detroit offensively, and then his second year, boom, he exploded. So like, what if it just takes a year for Justin Fields to understand this offense? What if it's just like Aaron Glenn? He just needs to build his roster and stuff, and like that's what he's selling them is the Detroit thing, where it's like, hey, me and Dan, we came into a shitty situation and we turned it around, but you got to give me time. Like that's what Dan Campbell told the owners and the Lions. Look, you want this program to be right. You got to give me time. You got to let me get my guys in this building. You got to let me get guys that want to be a part of my culture. And look at what happened. The Lions are one of the best teams. Who would have thought we'd be saying this in 2025? The Lions are one of the best teams in the fucking NFL. These guys were laughing stocks for many years and stuff. The Jets haven't been relevant since late 2000s, like the Rex Ryan era. Like let Aaron Glenn cook. Let Aaron Glenn take Caleb Downs at 2, and then you guys can get another quarterback. There's a lot of other great quarterbacks coming out in the next draft class. Like I want to draft Sellers because then it's the expectation he has to play, and I don't think Sellers is one of those guys where he can start right away. Like,
it's the other aspect of it is that you, even if you get Sellers, like what else do you have for him to work with besides Garrett Wilson? Maybe Breece Hall, because you don't know how that offseason is going to go with Breece Hall's contract. And maybe you got to franchise tag him, but let's assume he's there. But Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and their tight end, the rookie tight end's been looking good, Mason Taylor, the past couple of games. But besides that, there's really not that much on this offense. Like Alan Lazard is not going to be on this team. I can't anticipate him being there for that much longer. So it's like, yeah, it is a weird, because like, you know what? That's a great way to transition, because look at what's going on with the Titans.
Just fire Callahan. This guy
look
sucks.
At what's going on with the Titans.
I hate this coach. He's the worst coach in the NFL.
And right now they are saying that Calvin Ridley is questionable. They are designating Tyjae Spears.
What's on the Calvin Ridley parlay if he's questionable for this game?
They are designating Tyjae Spears to return from IR, but I don't think he's going to be back for this game. And J.C. Latham is out for this game. Now, granted, the Cardinals don't really have pass rush, so that's fine. But holy smokes, this Panthers team cannot get, like, I don't know what it is. They cannot get out of their way. Not the Panthers, it's Titans team. And so right now they are if we look at Tankathon, they are expected to take Reuben Bain Jr. edge from Miami. And they're going to pass on Spencer Fano, offensive tackle, and Francis Maiuigoa, offensive tackle from Miami. Now, maybe you could say with J.C. Latham there, you get the other one on the other side, all that kind of stuff. But, like, they just need everything. The Titans need everything. I'm taking the Cardinals, but, like, it's one of the ugliest takes ever because, like, the Cardinals.
Isn't it always with the Cardinals?
The Cardinals suck.
Yeah, like the Cardinals are the one team that could make the Titans look competent.
That's what I'm saying.
They made the Saints look good. Like this is the problem with the Cardinals. Like John, what is even the Cardinals' record right now? 2-2.
Hold on. I should know it off my head, but it is 2-2. You are correct.
Okay. If you would have told me that they're 3-1, I would believe you. If you would have told me they're 0-4, I'd believe you. If you tell me they're 1-3, I would believe you. I just don't know with this team. I don't know what to expect.
But then the other thing is that their wins are coming against the Saints and the Panthers. Like,
and now they're going to win against the dude. The Cardinals might sneak into the playoffs because of this junk.
As soon as they play a competent team, they lose.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's a close loss, right? Like, they lose to the Niners by 1 point. They lose to Seattle by 3 points. But, like, for both of those, you can chalk it up a little bit to, it's a divisional rivalry game. Okay, fine. But, like, this isn't some kind of world beater team. And on top of that, they lose James Conner. They get your boy Trey Benson in there, and now Trey Benson is on IR as well. So like they're going to be turning to Amari DeMercado and Michael Carter, who they brought up from the practice squad, Jets legend, to be the running backs for this team. This is such a mess. I cannot understand for the life of me for the Cardinals, like whether it is a question of Petzing's just incompetent, or Petzing is doing what Gannon wants him to do, thus making Gannon incompetent, or just if Petzing is incompetent, Gannon is incompetent because he's the one who hired Petzing in the first place. This is just a situation where it feels like this coaching staff has got to go. Now, part of the problem is I don't know who they would take, like who they would get if they were to fire everybody. I don't know who the new head coach for the Cardinals could be or should be. Like who's going to be like the hot coaching guy person or whatever, right? Like
Yeah.
that's just it. Who do you? And that's one thing that I've always kind of said to fans of different teams when they've called for the firing of head coaches or they've called for, get rid of the quarterback, draft somebody. It's like, who are you getting to replace? And is the replacement wins or the replacement ability going to be superseded you have in the building?
I feel like these next few coaching carousels, it's kind of like you're just going off potential. Like there's a lot of guys with potential to be like next head coaches and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's like there's not like an older coach where it's like, yeah, why don't we just bring him in? Maybe Mike McCarthy. That would be the perfect Cardinals head coach. Never mind. That's who they can replace. I could see dude, and you know what's crazy? McCarthy would do good with the Cardinals. Like he's a good coach, McCarthy. He's not bad.
I mean, you could see a world where he builds around, like he really can get Kyler to be more of like passer.
He'll get you to the playoffs and then either lose in the NFC title, but maybe he stumbles into a Super Bowl again and stuff, and then and
then the Cardinals hire Schottenheimer once he gets fired by the Cowboys.
Yeah. Oh, shoddy. My boy. Yeah, just put the Cardinals down for me.
Yeah. This next one's an interesting one for a number of different reasons. The Seahawks have been kind of looking good. They haven't been looking bad. They've been looking like they could go pretty far. They could do a little damage here and there in the NFC playoffs. They are a team that has definitely faced some uphill battle, but they are pulling through and pushing, and they are 3-1. They are second in the division. A tightly contested division, more than people thought it would be. But with the Niners now on top because of Thursday Night Football. But this is a team that has already had a couple division games. Now they're taking on the Buccaneers. They're hosting them. And Sam Darnold has not looked like, I think people were worried that he would turn completely into Ghost Darnold. He would turn completely into New York Jets Darnold. And I think he had enough time in San Francisco with Brock Purdy, with Kyle Shanahan, and then KOC that a lot of the mistakes have been removed. That's not to say he's the perfect quarterback. No, by far he's not. But he does have enough to get you wins. And on top of that, he has really competent running backs that he can use in Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker. And he has a really great wide receiver in JSN who is learning from Cooper Kupp. And Cooper Kupp is also teaching Torrey Horton. You have Elijah Arroyo, AJ Barn. Like, there's enough on this offense that it's like, yeah, I can see it, right? But now you're going to be going up against a pretty good Buccaneers defense. A pretty good Buccaneers defense that could be on the field a lot longer than anticipated because it's a Buccaneers offense that's going to be missing the services of Bucky Irving for this week and for next week. Now, Rachaad White has definitely proven himself as to why he can be, why he was RB1 before Bucky got there, and why he can be a RB1 again. But this is a situation where Bucky he won the starting job for a reason. He provides something that Rachaad White doesn't, and Rachaad White's a great change of pace back. I'm really intrigued to see the Buccaneers offense against the Seattle Seahawks defense.
Yeah.
Because Seattle has quietly been a very good defense. Week 1 allow 17 points, week 2 17 points, week 3 13 points, and then week 4 against the Cardinals they allow 20 points. The Buccaneers are a team that scores. So it is a strength versus strength situation.
Yeah.
Until like I don't know, I want to just keep picking the Bucs. I respect the line for what it is. I can also see a world where Seattle just does ball control offense out the ass and starves Baker Mayfield for time of possession. And if they can do that, they win this game easily because Baker's going to be the guy who's going to try to throw as much as he can against that secondary. And Godwin's getting hyper targeted now that he's back, which seemed weird because I was like, this man was dislocated, like broken ankle. And his first game back, you're throwing to him that many times. But when you need to, you need to. I'm going to take the Bucs. I don't feel that confident about it, but I will say, Emeka Egbuka plus 250 for Offensive Rookie of the Year. How do you feel?
Man, this is tough because they're both my favorite little sleeper teams in the NFL. Been high on the Seahawks, been high on the Bucs. Man, I'm going to go with the Seahawks here. I just think the Buccaneers' offensive line is still too banged up. Not having Bucky Irving, that kind of also sways my decision because he's also like that running back, like we talked about with Saquon earlier. He just makes plays happen. It's just one of those things where it's like, oh, he's getting tackled for, and then he just got 8 yards out of that. It's like Bucky Irving, he's like one of the most fun players to watch. And he has such a cool name with it too. But yeah, it's just I think that it'll be a close game. And stuff because sometimes Seattle they'll have drives where they can't do anything, but I feel the Seahawks will pull it out. Todd Bowles, I'm tired of his conservative defense. But what happened to Todd Bowles I used to know? Where's my blitzing? Yeah, dude, he's just being something happened to him where he just became. I think Bruce Arians broke him.
He became responsible.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's because that's what I always feel gets to Darnold the most. Is when you're just a team that pressures the F out of him, and then Darnold just doesn't have time. But if you give Darnold enough of a clean pocket, that's when Darnold. It's funny too. Commentators they don't notice that Todd Bowles doesn't blitz that much anymore. They go, well, Todd Bowles, he's gonna have a blitz lined up every down. It's like, bro, he ain't Spags. He ain't blitzing all the time. What are we talking about here? But yeah, I got the Seahawks here. As much as it pains me to go against Baker. It's just the offense for the Buccaneers are just so beat up right now. And I think the Seahawks, they just have enough to win this game. So, but yeah, I hope Egbuka keeps doing well. And yeah, that's all I care about is Emeka Egbuka. Keep getting your stats, young man.
Yeah, it is interesting, right? From a blitz perspective, I'm pulling up the numbers. Tampa Bay is, interestingly, the third in the league. They're blitzing 36% of the time on dropbacks, or they've got they're blitzing, but they're not getting
sack.
They're not getting sacks out of it.
Did they tell you what kind of blitz they're doing? Is he running just a 5-man blitz? Yeah.
So this says blitzes per dropback.
I miss Todd Bowles running 7-man blitzes. I miss Todd Bowles having his cornerbacks blitz for no reason. That's what I'm like. I'm not talking about these basic ass 5-man blitzes. I'm saying what the Broncos do, where they'll send 6 dudes at the 5 offensive linemen and stuff. Like Todd Bowles is not doing the Todd Bowles blitzes that I know. He may be blitzing, but it just looks like average pass rush to me at times. It doesn't look like there's a blitz coming.
Right. It's interesting. The Rams are now tied with the Broncos for the highest number of sacks in the league currently with 15, but the Rams have played an extra game.
Well,
and there's the Steelers.
You guys might still be tied. How are you going to sack Jalen Hurts if he's not back there, bro?
Hey, yeah, that number is going to drop. It's not going to be that high.
I think you guys will get 3 sacks against the Eagles, maybe 2.
Possibly.
Just depends on how often the Eagles want to throw the football.
Bro, it's some nonsense. It's ridiculous. ridiculous. But let's turn to a team in the Commanders and a team in the Chargers that one team is losing a guy to injury, one team's getting a guy back from injury. And the Commanders, we'll go with the big one. The Commanders are getting Jaden Daniels back. And that makes this a much more interesting game, no offense to Marcus Mariota, than if Jaden Daniels was not playing. He is a electric quarterback. We all know what he can do. And the spark that he provides this offense with his ability to manipulate defenses with his legs and move around in the pocket, move around in that backfield, it's really, really interesting to see. It's fun to watch. And we have seen enough from the rest of the offense while he has not been there, meaning the Deebo Samuels of the world, the Jalen Lanes of the world, that you could see a world where they can put up some points against this Chargers defense. But one thing that they won't have, though, is Terry McLaurin. And that, I think, is going to be what changes the outcome of this game. The Chargers, on the other hand, they're going to be without Joe. They're going to be without Joe Alt. So now they're out Rashad Slater and Joe Alt. Oh, man. You know, if only they had a really easy way to get the ball out of the pocket or the backfield area. You know, like if only they had like this running back, maybe. Like it's just an idea that they could hand the ball to, so they don't really need to worry about whether or not there's pass rush or a collapsing pocket on Justin Herbert.
Only 12 touches for Amari in Hampton. That was ridiculous. And they were such efficient 12 touches. Hampton looked so good in that game against the Giants.
Terrible.
You wish you had him.
I do. And the thing
especially since Jahdae Barron's like losing out his nickel, fighting for the nickel. Like, have they not seen enough? I'm sorry. Has Denver not seen enough of Riley Moss to just be like, "Hey, sorry, buddy."
So here's what's interesting. If you look at the numbers, the Riley Moss hate is like super overblown. He has been targeted. I think like he's either the most or the second most cornerback targets in the league, and he is allowing one of the lowest receptions. The problem is that when the other person on the other side of the field is Pat Surtain, everything that you do wrong or any reception that you allow looks way worse than it did.
Yeah, you have a large sample size. Large sample size.
Yeah, like he's not actually playing that badly as a cornerback. People like think it's really bad because they're just like, Pat Surtain wouldn't have let that happen. It's like, well, yeah, but Pat Surtain's the reigning DPOY as a cornerback. Like, there's a reason for that. So I am glad, though, that Riley Moss has stopped doing that ridiculous nonsense where, like, he does a pass breakup and then he does, like, that samurai sword shit. I'm like, that's stupid. Don't do that. Because half the time, like, whenever I see him do that, they throw a flag on you for some reason. And they're like holding DPI or some bullshit or whatever it is. But I'm like, if you stop doing that, I've noticed when you don't do that, there's for sure no flag. So just don't do it. It's better for you, better for me. And, you know, it's better for my wife, too, because she doesn't have to hear me yell at the TV. But how do you feel about this one with McLaurin out, but Daniels back in, and for the Chargers not having Joe Alt?
I feel like there's going to be a lot of people just because of the Chargers hiccup against the Giants and the Chargers missing Joe Alt. They're going to sit there and be like, oh, great time to choose the Commanders. Daniels is back. Chargers have had struggles with QBs running. I don't feel Daniels is going to run as much because he's coming back from an injury. So they're not going to be looking to spam Jaden Daniels running the ball. Like, Daniels will run, but we're not going to get the full Jaden Daniels experience where they have designed runs for him. Maybe an occasion, maybe they'll save them in the back pocket, but they got to keep that guy healthy because you're going to win more football games with Jaden Daniels. And then also, too, I feel the Chargers have more of an identity than the Commanders do, where the Commanders, I just feel their outlook is still pretty cloudy. That Commanders pass rush doesn't scare me to where it's like, oh, we don't have Joe Alt. I'm over here like, oh, like they don't have one guy on that defensive line where I'm like, yeah, we got to watch out for that guy and stuff. It's like, what, Von Miller, is Von Miller going to show up for this game? Is this the Von Miller resurgence? Like, This is
Well, I mean, he does know how to sack Justin Herbert.
yeah, but no, he knows to sack Phil Rivers. I don't think did Herbert ever play against Von Miller? Wasn't
Vaughn?
Miller on the Bills at that point?
No, I don't think so. Vaughn was with Denver for a while. Like even after the
I don't think. I thought he left you guys in 2020.
he was with Denver until 2021.
Okay, well, I don't remember. I remember your other linebacker, the guy that left Tampa, getting to Herbert, Shaquille Barrett.
Oh, Shaq Barrett, yeah.
Yeah, Shaq Barrett. I remember him getting to Herbert than Von Miller. But
gotcha.
Yeah, no, how do I say this? I think the Chargers win this game. I think we're just a better team than the Commanders. I respect Dan Quinn, but like if Jaden Daniels didn't have an injury, I'd choose the Commanders easily. I would say, yeah, this is a game the Chargers will drop. Jaden Daniels is fully healthy, but a kind of Jaden Daniels without Terry McLaurin, who's the more scary receiver, and even Noah Brown's out this game, so that's another deep threat guy the Chargers don't have to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
And the Commanders' run game, it's all this Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt hype, and it's like,
he has not really done much of anything.
Yeah, and then I feel the Chargers they'll play well in this game. I think they're going to be upset with what happened to themselves in New York, and they're going to go in and be like, hey, we're not going to let another team a team come in here and stuff. And this should be one of the rare home games where the Chargers actually have more fans than the opposing team. I know we have a lot. The thing with California is there's a lot of transplant people here, so we don't know like where everyone's really from. I know like the game against Minnesota, we have a lot of Vikings fans in this area. I don't understand why, but we do. We just have a lot of Vikings fans in this area and stuff. So, yeah. So I think the Chargers win. I think we're good. I think we're fine. I think Jamari Salyer, he'll play left tackle. Zion at left guard. Bozeman at center. Right guard, who knows at this point. Becton's healthy, so him being back there is nice. And then Pipkins at right tackle. So yeah, Chargers win. But if Jaden Daniels was healthy, I'd go with the Commanders for sure. Like 100%.
Part of why I'm taking the Chargers is because the Commanders have been allowing a shit ton of yardage to wide receivers. And the Chargers have weirdly been throwing the ball a lot when nobody anticipated them throwing the ball this much.
We have the best three-headed monster in football.
And okay. Three-headed is a bit strong.
Yeah, we do.
You have two really good wide receivers and then one guy who's doing cardio.
Quentin Johnson's not doing cardio this year, my friend.
I did not mean Quentin Johnson.
Who insulting you?
What has Ladd McConkey actually done this year?
He's been catching the ball. You guys are just mad he hasn't found the end zone yet.
What are you talking about?
He's been catching.
He's catching a cold like you?
Let's not hate on Ladd, all right? He's having a sophomore slump.
I'm a big fan of Ladd McConkey. What I'm saying is I'm looking at Quentin Johnson getting 36 targets and 22 catches, Keenan getting 35 targets and 24 catches, and then Ladd McConkey getting 27 targets, so already less by 8 or 9 targets, and only catching 16.
He's catching a good majority of his targets. Good on him. What do you want me to say? It's a three-headed monster. This is a three-headed monster, bro. How are you disrespecting Is this not one of the top wide receiver trios in the league?
I am not saying that Ladd McConkey is not talented. What I'm saying is that he is having a down year compared to last year.
That's what happens when there's three good wide receivers on one team here. One's going to have to suffer.
I'm not saying from a talent perspective he's bad. I'm saying that from a production standpoint, he is not playing.
Yeah. One guy has to sacrifice, and Ladd is a nice guy by sacrificing. Because, like, who would have thought, like, has Quentin Johnson cracked top 15 wide receivers in the NFL right now?
From you want from a yardage standpoint or from a
I'm just talking about in your general list. Like if you're making a top 15 wide receivers, is Johnson like 14, 13, or is he at 15?
I would if I would probably have him 15, maybe even a little bit lower. Actually, like I could see.
So he hasn't cracked the top 15
Sure.
yet.
Yeah,
He's getting there, man. He's looking good.
like he's like to put this in perspective, he is 5th in the league in yardage.
Yeah.
330. So right now, yardage, it's Puka Nacua, 588, JSN, 402. Oh, get Christian McCaffrey out of here. He doesn't count. Devontae Adams at 357, and then Quentin Johnson. So Quentin Johnson is 4th at 300
for receivers. Fourth for receivers.
for receivers. And then Ricky Pearsall at 327.
CMC is wide receiver one for the Niners.
He is. Okay. To be fair, McCaffrey. So Ricky Pearsall was 6th on this list at 327 yards. McCaffrey is now 3rd at 387 yards. But McCaffrey played yesterday. Pearsall didn't. You can make an argument that if Pearsall had played, he would actually be 3rd and not McCaffrey.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then from a touchdown perspective, Amon-Ra leads the league at 6. Rome Odunze out of nowhere is at 5 touchdowns. He's number 2. And then tied for 3rd.
Trey Tucker's in there, right?
Yeah, so tied for 3rd with 4 touchdowns is Quentin Johnson, George Pickens, Trey Tucker, Romeo Doubs with that fucking 3 touchdown game last week, and Emeka Egbuka for 4 touchdowns.
Wow.
Great company for QJ.
Now Emeka Egbuka, our guy, is he top 15?
Wait, say that again.
Emeka Egbuka, is he top 15?
Oh gosh, I mean, I think I probably would have him at 15 at this moment. But do you know what? So here's an interesting thing that I'm seeing brought up in some of the dynasty conversations is the idea of touchdowns are not a sticky stat, which is true. They're not. Like it's the idea of touchdowns being a easily reproducible thing, right? Like that's not true at all. So if we discount Emeka's touchdowns, right, and say that with a full complement, let's just assume for a moment that it was Evans, Godwin, and Egbuka. How many touchdowns would Egbuka catch? I don't know. So if you look at more at his yardage, he's 13th right now with 282 yards, and he's getting a lot of targets at 31, but he's catching 18. So he's catching just about a little over half of the targets that he gets. So it's interesting to see, like, where he'll end up at the end of this year.
Oh, all I know is all the future bets I made on him will cash.
Yeah, all of my future bets are completely blown up because I had Malik Neighbors in all of the wide receiver ones. So
yeah, we didn't expect him. Malik. We should have known that life would have taken one soul this season.
But let's talk about the league's leader in touchdowns, as we just covered, Amon-Ra St. Brown with the Detroit Lions. Do we need to talk about this one?
Not
or
really.
do we feel confident to say they're winning this?
I think the Bengals will score something, but I don't think it'll be enough to win.
If the Bengals listen, the insanity. Now I get it. My guys are murderers, and Denver has one of the best defenses in the league.
Their guys' pass rush is fucking insane. Like it's one of the.
But the idea that after the first drive where they kicked the field goal, they didn't have a single play on Denver's side of the field is batshit insane.
Yeah, I the only reason why is because Terry and Arnold sometimes is an idiot, so I could just see where he, you know what I'm saying? Like I could see it where he costs like a few points for the Lions, but this Lions machine is just, oh my goodness! Like that first game is like an anomaly. It was like, what happened? Were they sick? Like did Jared Goff get food poisoning? like what was like I'm curious to see what's Goff's MVP odds because I think he's kind of quietly putting up a great MVP type season.
All right, so the odds for MVP: Josh Allen -105. That makes sense. Justin Herbert at +600. That's bullshit. But no, I give respect where respect is due. That is not bullshit. What is bullshit is Patrick Mahomes at +650.
And
That's
he's
disgusting.
back out. He's back after
That's
that game against
disgusting.
the Ravens.
The fact that the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos have the same record makes me sick. Off of 2 goddamn field goals. Anyway, I'll spiral if I keep talking about it. But then Jordan Love at plus 800, Matt Stafford at plus 1400, and then Jared Goff at plus 1900.
And Goff, he's putting up a nice campaign this year. So it will take like a catastrophe from Josh Allen. Maybe this game gets the Patriots. That's where Jared Goff takes over. Who knows? But yeah, the Lions. Yeah, that Packers game. There must have been something wrong. Like there must have been something wrong where that they looked so bad that game, because every other game they just looked phenomenal and stuff. It's just like good teams, bad teams. It doesn't matter. Like they're just handling business, and that's like what you want to expect out of a team like the Lions. And I expect them to handle business. I expect the Bengals I think the Bengals will make the scoreboard look respectable, but because the Lions
There
were blowing them out.
are certain teams that that for them, they have a window, and it's a very short window, but it is a window where we don't really bother about the regular season for them, right? Now, like a couple of years ago, it was the Chiefs. And recently, it has been the Lions and the Eagles. And so a part of it is just like, yeah, like they're supposed to win these games. Even if they lose a game, it's like, yeah, they're going to win the next 3, so it's fine. Like, it's really only nowadays, it's only the Chiefs and the Ravens, I would say, that where you're looking at it going, well, I mean, they should win the game, but I don't know if they will. And they're dropping back down into that, any given Sunday kind of situation. But the Lions definitely are still one of those teams where it's like I almost any given week I'm going to pick the Lions unless it's like an NFC North matchup and it's like, okay, well, those Packers and those Vikings, they could do something. But otherwise, I'm just going to take the Lions because why not? And that's kind of how I feel about this one. I understand that Drake May is playing really well, and I understand that Stephon Diggs is finally getting into that wide receiver 1 role. They are still not running the ball with TreVeyon Henderson. They're going more with Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson for some reason, but they are getting him a few more touches, and every time he does get those touches, he looks electric. He looks good. Hoping that they continue to build out what he does. I don't know if this line should be as far apart, but I do think the Bills comfortably win this. I don't see why they shouldn't, I guess is the question. Everything on paper points towards the Bills. If Drake May wants to have like that year 2 statement win, this is when you do it. You go to Highmark.
We talked about it. They have to. We said the Patriots should win. Have to try their hardest to win this game. But
yeah, if you're the Patriots, like this is almost basically is your Super Bowl.
Yeah. I got the Bills. There's nothing more. I saw a funny tweet where someone said, like, because the Bills are wearing their all white out jerseys and they're going to do like the whole stadium's going to be white. And someone said, no one told the Bills fans that the snow melts in May. And I was a little like, oh, that's pretty clever.
Oh, the snow melts in May. Terrible. Yeah, I mean, like this is a Patriots team that loses to the Raiders week 1. I get it, like upset fluky win. You beat the Dolphins, but you allow the Dolphins to get 27 points. Then you lose the Steelers, and then you beat the Panthers. So it's like, who really have you beaten to be considered a fearful team? Like I don't know. Like this is how you prove that you are on the path to being a serious contender again in the AFC, in your division, and in the conference. So, hey, pull it off if you can. That leaves us to talk about Monday Night Football with the Chiefs traveling to the Jaguars. This was a matchup that a couple of years ago, right? Like not that long ago, was designed to be or was anticipated to be a quarterback duel, a quarterback showdown between Patrick Mahomes and Trevor Lawrence. And between Trevor Lawrence just not doing well for different reasons, and Patrick Mahomes just being like, hey, if we win by 2 points, by 3 points, by 7 points, it's fine with me. This has not really turned into, I mean, I'm not saying that it was intended to be a rivalry of sorts, but it really has not.
They wanted this to be a rivalry.
It really has not turned into anything more than just another game. But we see here that the Chiefs are starting to kind of bounce back a bit. Like they are starting to pick up a little bit of steam. Get right games where you need them. You get the wins where you got to get them. The Jaguars, not looking terrible, but there's definitely room for improvement. Brian Thomas Jr. still seems as though he is playing through some kind of a wrist injury, and I'm not saying like they need to shut him down and at least for like a couple weeks to try to get him healthy. But like you don't want to be risking like. I don't want to say like permanent damage, but like you don't want to be like I guess I look at it wide receiver skills similarly to how I look at pitching, and it's like once you get into that slump, once you like pitching or hitting, once you get into that slump, it's hard to break out of it if you have developed bad habits. And so the way he catches footballs, he is changing it because of this wrist injury. And if over time he's not being given the opportunity to really let it heal, those are going to create new habits. And those habits can be bad habits. And it could really affect the long-term longevity of his career, where he needs to take like a full offseason to just like, I don't know, like get right in his brain, right, about what it is that he needs to do. Like we've seen this with a couple different players. The idea that like Marvin Harrison Jr. is the one that people are talking about a lot, where it's just like he looks like he has no confidence, right? And what does he need to do to get back in there? And the Cardinals are trying. Like when he got that touchdown, he meaning Marvin Harrison Jr., he just kneels down and like head on the ground, and it's like he's praying, like he's so grateful and he's so thankful that he got that touchdown. And that's like, you're seeing this level of somebody losing their confidence. And I'm really hoping that doesn't happen to Brian Thomas Jr. Now, if Romeo was here, he would tell me that no LSU wide receiver ever loses their confidence because they're just built differently. But they're still human. So I hope that that's not going to happen for him, because the Jaguars really need him. Because after him, they're trying to get things going with Travis Hunter, but it's been a little hit or miss. Travis Etienne, though, has been carrying this team a bit, but can we really pick against the Chiefs? Are we finally in the time there where we can be like, yeah, we can come against the Chiefs?
After that win against
Andy Reid is just the coach. Like he's gonna find a way.
After that win against the Niners, I'm kind of leaning towards the Jaguars just because they've had a more impressive win, and just honestly, I want to know who the Jaguars truly are. So I'm kind of choosing the Jaguars here, more of like, okay, are you legit or are you just what I think you are? So I feel like the correctest choice here is the Chiefs. But I'm going to choose the Jaguars because I want to see, am I correct on the Jaguars? Are the Jaguars actually a really good football team in the AFC? Because they've shown some flashes. They've shown some things to me. And that win against the Niners, I know everyone's like, oh, the Niners are so injury prone and stuff. Well, this injury prone Niners team beat the freaking Rams, and everyone was crowning the Rams as the second best NFC team not too long ago. So this Niners team is not a bad team. They're not a bad coach team. They have a good coach in Kyle Shanahan. I want to see how are the Jaguars, after going against a solid defense, go against this Spags defense. I want to see what Liam Cohen's cooking. So I'm picking the Jaguars because as of right now, from what I'm seeing, they're a better team than the Chiefs.
Yeah.
The Chiefs beat the Ravens, and the Ravens defense just hasn't been good at all. But to me, I'm looking at it as like, okay, Jaguars, are you really a good AFC team, or are you just whatever you are supposed to be? Like, have you not found that identity yet? Yeah. So I'm going with the Jaguars. I'm going to ride with their hot hand that they have right now, get them a 3-game win streak, because I think they're the better team. But the correct decision is probably the Chiefs here, but
Yeah,
I'm going based off my theory that they're a better team. So
it's because like I mean I know we didn't get too in depth in details about the woes of the Ravens defense when we were talking about Ravens Texans, but the Ravens, when they played the Bills, they allowed 41. When they played the Browns, they allowed 17. When they played the Lions, they allowed 38. And when they played the Chiefs, they allowed 37. Now, if we are going to give them grace for the fact that Lamar wasn't on the field for like the back half of the Chiefs and Ravens game, so it changes what you're off, like the complementary football aspect, then I got to also ding them for the fact that the team that they didn't allow a lot of points to is a Joe Flacco-led Browns that is stuck in the mud and just went through a quarterback change after week 4. Like, so that's a situation where I'm like, okay, well, then I got to discount your win. So, like, this Ravens, like, if you assume, like, if you just average it out, they're allowing around 33, 34 points right now per game. Now, if you take into consideration the fact that they should have allowed a lot more against a more competent quarterback, or I don't want to say competent, but like a younger quarterback who just has a little bit more athleticism, this is defense. Like, people were talking about how devastatingly scary this defense was, and I don't see it anymore. I don't know what it is. And now they're missing. I think they're going to be missing Roquan Smith. I think they're going to be missing Roquan Smith, but I'm not 100% sure. That's tough. That is tough. But the Chiefs took advantage, and I want to see if the Chiefs can take advantage of a Jaguars team that is, like, to your point, like, they are the better team, and Liam Cohen is coaching them up, but they are still coming out of the doldrums of what they were under, like, Urban Meyer not too long ago. So I want to see if the Chiefs can continue to take advantage of that, because in the past they have shown they are able to, because this is a time where I would love to be wrong, because if the Chiefs lose this game, that means they're not as opportunistic as they were in the past, and that means, like, at least for you and me, more you right now than me, the Chargers and the Broncos, it is a much wider open division than it has seemed in the past. So that's really why I'm very intrigued by this Monday Night Football game.
Yep, me too.
So as we potentially close out, I wanted to see how are you feeling, because originally we were talking about doing sort of a quarter poll, looking at where our power rankings were, and then
let's do that next week.
Let's do that. That's I had a feeling.
Yeah, my head's hurting right now. My eyes been closed for most of this, so I'm like, let's do that. I don't want to look at the screen and stuff. I'm trying to, like, this headache is now coming, man. Like, I'm just trying to relax.
Listen, we're gonna make you doubtful, downgraded to out, just like Joe Alt.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Around the point, you can find me there.
You can catch him on Around the Point. Alrighty, guys. Remember, take care of yourselves and each other. We will catch you all later. Peace.